I want to try a little experiment to kick things off today. I want you to close your eyes for a second.
Okay.
Well, obviously, if you're driving, please, for the love of safety, keep them wide open. But for everyone else, just picture this. You're standing in the middle of some ancient ruins.
I can see it.
Maybe it's the Colosseum or, I don't know, Mayan temple somewhere. Or maybe it's just a pile of old stones on a hill in Scotland.
It's a classic travel experience, right? You take the selfie, you read the plaque, you move on.
Right. Usually we just think, cool rocks. But I want you to look closer. What do you actually see? Is it just an archaeological site?
Yeah.
Or do you feel something else? Because the text we're diving into today describes this very specific, almost haunting sensation.
A palpable presence of absence.
Yes. That phrase. It's so heavy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The presence of absence.
It really...
It's that feeling that the wind whispering through those broken columns isn't just wind. It used to carry the clamor of a market, or prayers to gods that literally no one on earth remembers, or, the anxious breaths of soldiers before a battle 2,000 years ago.
You're setting the scene perfectly. We are diving into a truly profound essay called The Stranger's Burden. And honestly, this isn't just a history lesson. It's a text that really challenges the way we experience time itself. It argues that standing in those ruins shouldn't just be sightseeing. It should be an act of temporal communion.
Temporal communion. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem, and the essay's pretty blunt about this. Most of the time, we're completely incapable of feeling that connection.
Mm-hmm.
We stand there, we look at the stones, and we feel, well, nothing. Maybe a vague, wow, that's old, but we don't really connect.
And there's a reason for that. We're blocked by this cognitive barrier the author calls the tyranny of the present.
This concept.
Yeah.
Wow, it hit me hard. The tyranny of the present. It's this idea that we are so obsessed with our current crises, our breaking news, our, political drama.
Right.
That we feel like everything happening right now is the most important thing that has ever happened in the history of the universe.
It creates a kind of distortion field. We lack what the author calls a stabilizing perspective. We're like leaves being blown around by the wind of our specific decade, panic, outrage, panic, and we're completely unaware of the forest we're actually in.
So the mission of this deep dive, then, is to see if we can stop being that leaf. We're going to try to acquire a different way of seeing. The source calls it the stranger's gaze. It's a tool to stop being trapped in the now and to look at humanity from a height where centuries just collapse into a single panorama.
It's essentially a superpower.
Yeah.
But to get there, we have to unpack why we're so bad at this in the first place.
Okay, let's go back to those ruins for a second. The source mentioned something I found. Well, really sad, actually. It talks about the rupture of history. We look at these ancient people and we know intellectually, okay, that's a human being, but we can't reach them. They feel alien.
That is the tragedy of the presence of absence. But the text makes this a fascinating point about psychological continuity, and this is crucial to understand.
Okay.
Think about a Sumerian person, say 2500 BCE, offering incense to the goddess Inanna. They're terrified, their crops will fail, they're hoping for health. Now fast forward. Think of a medieval mystic, or someone praying in a church or a mosque today.
Okay, so the outfits are different, the language, the specific gods are all different.
Totally different. But the structure of the worship, the human need, the psychological form of it.
It's the same.
It's identical. It's the same software running on different hardware.
That's a great way to put it. The operating system of human hoping for help hasn't changed in 5,000 years.
And here's where the rupture just breaks your heart. The text uses the example of the Egyptian Book of the Dead. This was compiled around, 1550 BCE? Mm-hmm. To the people of that time, this wasn't an art object. It wasn't a museum piece.
No, it was a survival guide. It was literally a map for the afterlife. If you didn't have this, you were screwed for eternity. It was urgent.
Visceral. It was written with sweaty palms. But now, we look at it in a climate-controlled glass case. We admire the calligraphy, but it's silent. Its animating piety has vanished. We can look at the papyrus, but we cannot feel the fear and hope that went into writing it. We're just like them. We know the weight of the sun and the taste of fear before battle, but their subjective world is just It's locked away from us.
It's like looking at a smartphone that's been turned off for 1,000 years. You can hold the device, but you can't see the messages.
Yeah.
And the reason we can't access it isn't just that it was a long time ago. The source argues we have a biological limitation, right?
Yes, the innate parochialism of the human mind. The author points out something that makes people uncomfortable. Our memory fades into mist after just 2 or 3 generations. You probably know your grandfather's name. You might know your great-grandfather's name. But go back one more generation.
It's a blank. It's just a total blank.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you a single thing about my great-great-grandfather. Was he funny? Was he a jerk? He's just missed.
That's natural. We're biologically wired to care about our immediate kin, our immediate survival. But that forgetfulness is compounded, and this is where it gets dangerous, by this tyranny of the present. It creates a kind of cognitive oppression.
The text brings in some heavy hitters here to explain this. It mentions Nietzsche and Heidegger. Now, usually when I hear Heidegger, I panic a little, but the concept here was actually pretty relatable.
It's very relatable. The concept is Das Man.
Das Man, which sounds like the man. Is this like sticking it to the man?
Not exactly. It's not a specific oppressor. It translates roughly to the they.
The they.
You know when you say, well, they say you should do this, or everyone is talking about that, that's Das Man. We dissolve into the anonymous they of public opinion.
Ah, okay, so it's like the algorithm or the feed.
That is a perfect modern analogy. It's the ephemeral chatter of our age. Our anxieties, our desires, they're shaped by what's trending right now. We worry about what everyone else is worrying about just because they are. We become hollowed out, filled only with the noise of the present.
That explains so much about modern stress. If you don't have that deep time perspective, every cultural shift feels unprecedented. Every election is the apocalypse.
Right.
Every dip in the stock market is the end of civilization. We're trapped in the immediate moment, just hyperventilating, because we think this moment is the only one.
Which is why the author calls for a rebellion, but not against a government or an institution.
A rebellion against the present itself.
Exactly.
This is where we get to the solution, the stranger's gaze. I want to really dig into this because it sounds almost meditative, but also difficult. The text calls it an intellectual and imaginative ascesis.
Ascesis. It's a Greek word. It's where we get ascetic. It means training or exercise, usually of a spiritual kind. It's a workout for your perspective.
So we're going to the mental gym.
That's it. The goal is to step back from the, hypnotic immediacy of your own time. You have to willingly become a stranger to your own tribe, your own nation, your own moment.
Oh, wait, the text is careful to say this isn't about being cold or indifferent.
Yeah.
It's not about becoming a robot who doesn't care about suffering.
No, absolutely not. It's about deliberate empathy redirected. The source uses this powerful, visceral example. It challenges us to imagine the fall of Carthage in 146 BCE.
Okay, let's try it. Carthage is burning.
The Romans have breached the walls. The city is being razed to the ground. The text asks you, can you feel the existential weight of a Carthaginian general watching his home burn? Can you feel that smoke? Can you feel the grief of knowing your entire civilization, your gods, your history is ending right now?
To be honest, that's really hard. I mean, I could picture it like a movie scene, like Gladiator or something, but to actually feel grief for a guy who died over 2,000 years ago, when I have my own problems, it feels a little artificial.
It is incredibly hard. It feels artificial because we're fighting our own biology, but the stranger's gaze requires you to push through that. You have to realize that his grief was just as real, just as consuming, and just as absolute as your grief would be if your city started burning today.
So the exercise is to realize that the intensity of now was just as intense for him then as it is for me right now.
Precisely. And if you can do that, if you can truly hold the grief of Carthage in your mind, something incredible happens. Chronology collapses. You start seeing history not as a timeline, but as a panorama. The text paints this beautiful picture of a vast field where Hittites, Mauryans, Phoenician traders, and Bactrian horsemen all exist simultaneously.
I love that image. They aren't dead and gone. They're all there in the eternal present of the human experience. You stop seeing just the one leaf blowing in the wind, your own life, and you finally see the whole forest.
And there's always a but. This isn't just some comforting mental exercise. The title of the essay is The Stranger's Burden.
Right. What's the catch? What's the price of admission for this superpower?
The price is detachment. And that can be painful. When you see the full panorama, you realize that all of our current certainties, our politics, our tastes, the borders we fight over, are just temporary. The text calls them temporary scratches on the earth.
Oof. Temporary scratches. I have to be honest, hearing that doesn't make me feel free. It makes me feel kind of small, insignificant. If everything I care about is just a scraps that's going to wash away, why bother? It feels a little like nihilism.
I get that reaction. It's the initial shock of the gaze. But the essay argues this burden actually leads to a profound freedom. It's not that nothing matters, it's that you stop thinking your version of things is the only one that matters.
So it's an ego check.
A massive one. The stranger's burden is knowing that the things we think are absolute truths are often just period costumes. The source lists these archetypes, the crusader, the jihadi, the revolutionary, the inquisitor.
Yeah.
When they're in the moment, they feel like they are fighting these unique, unprecedented battles for the soul of the universe.
But the stranger sees them differently.
The stranger sees actors reciting different versions of the same script, and the script is pride, fear, and this yearning for belonging.
Yeah.
When you realize that, you're inoculated against hysterical absolutism.
Yeah.
You realize the world has ended 1,000 times before and rebuilt 1,000 times before. You stop panicking. You get this paradoxical freedom from the myopia of the now.
Okay, I can see the value in that.
Right.
Less panic is definitely good. And there was a detail in this section that I found really inspiring, actually. It's about resilience.
Oh, this is one of my favorite parts.
The author reminds us that we are the product of a very, very long chain.
We usually think of civilization as fragile, right? Like a vase waiting to be smashed. But look at what we've survived. The text mentions the Toba catastrophe about 74,000 years ago. A supervolcano erupted.
Blocked out the sun for years. I read about this. The human population dropped to something crazy low, like a few thousand people, right?
Exactly. A genetic bottleneck. Humanity almost went extinct. We were huddled in caves, ash falling from the sky. But we didn't die out. We survived that. We survived the Black Death, which wiped out half of Europe. We are the result of an unbroken chain of survivors.
So once you realize that, your purpose shifts.
Yeah.
You stop trying to build a monument that lasts forever, because the stranger knows no monument lasts forever.
Right. The pyramids are eroding.
Instead, you realize you're building a bridge.
Yes. You're just trying to carry the best of human understanding from the past and hand it to the future. You are a link in that chain.
I like the image of the bridge builder a lot more than monument builder. But I do want to push back on one thing. If history just repeats, if we're all just actors in period costumes, isn't that just depressing? It sounds like we're running in circles.
You have hit on the most critical distinction in the entire essay. This is where the text gets really nuanced.
Yeah.
If you look at
problem.
You mean politics. Yeah, politics, the dynamics of control. If you look at that, history is a circle. A brutal, repetitive circle. Ambition, consolidation of power, glory, corruption, and then dust. It looks the same for Sargon's Akkadian Empire in 2334 BCE as it does for the Sasanian Empire falling in 651 CE.
Right, the text mentions the Melian dialogue, the famous line, "The strong do what they can, and the weak suffer what they must." That could have been written yesterday.
It could have. Or the collapse of Roman libertas into despotism. We see republics surrender liberty for security over and over again. So if you only look at power, yes, it's bleak. It's a hamster wheel of suffering.
Okay, you're not selling this hope thing very well.
But, and this is the but that matters, the essay argues that while the drama of power is a circle, the history of ideas is a spiral.
A widening spiral. Unpack that for me. How is a spiral different from a circle?
A circle returns to the exact same point. A spiral comes back around, but at a higher level. The context evolves. We make the same mistakes, but we make them in a different landscape because we have the memory of the past.
Mm-hmm.
The text gives two huge examples of moral progress that prove this: sacred violence and slavery.
Let's talk about the violence one, because I think we forget just how brutal the ancient world really was.
We sanitize it, for sure.
Yeah.
But consider human sacrifice. For thousands of years, from Carthage to the Andes, sacrificing humans to the gods was normative. It wasn't murder. It was a civic duty.
So if you were a responsible citizen, you supported killing people on altars.
Yes. But then, during the Axial Age, that first millennium BCE, something shifted. You had the Hebrew prophets, the Buddha, Greek philosophers. They challenged this idea. They argued that the divine doesn't want blood. And slowly, painfully, human sacrifice was discarded. That's a permanent shift in the human operating system. We don't go back to that.
And the second one, slavery, is even more recent.
And even more ingrained. Chattel slavery powered Athens. It powered Rome. To a Roman, imagining a world without slaves was like us imagining a world without electricity. Impossible.
But then,
in the 18th and 19th centuries, a new idea took hold: universal human dignity. Abolition wasn't inevitable. It was the result of this idea painfully clawing its way into reality.
So the argument is that while empires might rise and fall in a circle, Our moral baseline, the floor we stand on, is actually rising.
Exactly. The struggle for liberty today is different than it was in ancient Rome because we have the memory of Rome. We have the conceptual tools that Locke and King gave us. We aren't starting from scratch. The spiral widens.
That actually does make me feel better. It means the bridge we're building is actually going somewhere.
Precisely. And that brings us to the conclusion of the essay, which I found deeply moving. It reminds us we aren't at the end of history. We're right in the middle of it.
And our job, now that we have this stranger's gaze, is to be a specific kind of participant. Not a panicked one, but what did the text call it?
A conscious, humble participant. That's the challenge. We need to champion ideas and take actions that will matter to a future observer.
It's so weird to think about a future observer looking at us.
But we have to. Imagine a stranger looking back at our time in 500 years. We don't want to be the cautionary tale. We want our contribution to look like a stitch that strengthened the fragile, enduring tapestry of human dignity.
Not a tear in the fabric, a stitch that held.
Right. We act for our time, but with the wisdom of all time. And the essay ends with this beautiful, kind of melancholic image. It acknowledges that the mist is coming for us.
The same mist that swallowed the Sumerians and the Sasanians and my great-great-grandfather.
It will swallow us too. We'll become the ancestors. We'll become the ghosts whispering in the ruins. But we act with the hope that a new stranger will one day emerge from that mist, look back at our time, and this is the key word, understand.
That's really what we all want, isn't it? To be understood. It's a powerful thought to leave on. We're so busy shouting at each other in the present, trying to win the argument of the day. But maybe the real victory is living in a way that makes sense to someone looking back 1,000 years from now.
It completely changes how you view your daily frustrations. It's the ultimate antidote to the tyranny of the now.
So next time you're feeling overwhelmed by the headlines, try to summon that stranger's gaze. Look for the spiral, not just the circle.
And remember, you're part of a very long, very resilient chain.
Thanks for taking this dive into deep time with us. It's been a trip.
A pleasure, as always.
Catch you in the future.